Welcome to Lola's Frugal Life Podcast. If you're on a mission to be more frugal with both your time and money, you're in the right place. In this podcast, we talk about topics that help enhance living a frugal lifestyle. The goal is to save time and money where we can so that we can use the rest on what matters most to us. We talk a lot about both time and money management so that we can waste as little as possible on both. We do this while also embracing a progress over perfection mindset. If that sounds good to you, then please stick around for the latest episode right after a few quick words from our sponsor. Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Lola's Frugal Life Podcast. Quick life update. We have really been enjoying local holiday events over this last week. We did a light drive-through over in Pennsylvania, which is about an hour from where I live. We went one night and did that. It was really cute. It's a really nice drive-through. It's in Yardley, Pennsylvania. If you're in this area, I think it's called Shady Brook Farms or something like that. But anyway, it's one of those like the where you just drive through in your car and they have all the lights, but it's really, really a good one. And we had done it a couple of years ago, so we decided to do that again. We did a local farm walkthrough where they had the farm all lit up and they had some goats and different animals you could feed, which was really fun. And they had a really cool train display set up too, which was neat. And then we just kind of have been kind of driving around a little bit, looking at like local neighborhood lights. And we did some shopping one night during the week. So just been enjoying a lot of holiday type stuff. And then as far as my loving lately, I am hopefully going to be loving my KitchenAid mixer. So it's hard to say loving lately because I haven't actually used it yet. But on Black Friday, I think it was on Black Friday or maybe that weekend or whatever, I decided to purchase a KitchenAid mixer that they had at Target. That was on a pretty good sale. I don't have a mixer, like I didn't have a stand mixer at all ever in my life. And my middle daughter kept talking about one constantly, saying we really needed one, really needed one. So when I saw one on sale on Black Friday, I decided to give in and purchase one. And I was going to go with a less expensive brand. But the more I kept reading reviews and looking at, the stand mixers and things like that, and I kept seeing that the KitchenAid one seemed to last forever, I decided to just go with that one and not take a chance of purchasing one that wasn't going to last very long. And we don't bake a lot like throughout the year, but we definitely do a pretty good amount of cookies at the holidays. So I figured it'll definitely be useful for that. So I'm pretty excited to try it out. We're going to bake cookies next weekend on Saturday. So that'll be my first time using it. So I'm pretty excited to learn how to do it. And then I'm hoping maybe I might make dough and make like homemade pizza one day or bread or something. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, I'm loving the idea of it so far, but I haven't actually used it yet. So anyway, today I wanted to talk about our money mindset. So mindset, as I'm sure most of you know, it's kind of like our attitude or the beliefs that we have that kind of influence how we think and feel and kind of react to things. And our mindset can be positive or it can be negative, and it can change over time and it can change in different situations. Usually we might be kind of naturally inclined toward a certain mindset, but we can definitely make changes to our mindset to approach things differently to kind of try to encourage a different outcome based on the way we approach situations. You know how if you tell yourself you can't do something before even trying, you're probably not going to be able to do that thing. So if that's the case, you're probably approaching that situation with a negative mindset. But if you approach a challenging situation with a positive mindset, even though you may or may not be able to successfully navigate the situation, you'll still learn from the situation because you gave it your best shot, and you'll really know whether or not you were able to deal with whatever you were facing, rather than just say, I'm not going to be able to do that, and just never try and never really know. So when we approach things with a more positive mindset, it really kind of helps us to be open to approaching challenges in the future. And mindset really impacts many aspects of our lives, but today we're going to be talking about the ways it impacts our finances. So, spending habits is one area where mindset definitely has an impact. If you have a scarcity mindset, you might be more likely to spend money impulsively and without much thought. A scarcity mindset is a belief that there's never enough of something, which can include money or things, and you just kind of feel like you need to make sure you get things while you're able to. If we focus on what we lack, we kind of create this need to purchase things that maybe aren't actually needed. But a scarcity mindset can be shifted more towards an abundance mindset by practicing gratitude. Instead of really focusing on the things that you don't have, we can focus on what we do have, and over time that can really kind of shift our perspective, which can reduce the need to spend on things that aren't really necessary. It will shift you more towards it'll shift you more towards an abundance mindset rather than a scarcity mindset. And when you have an abundance mindset, you kind of recognize all the things that you do have, and you won't be as tempted to have poor spending habits where you're purchasing things just because of the need to fulfill that feeling that you feel like you're lacking, or you need more than you currently have, or you need to purchase things now while you still can because there's this limit to, your ability to be able to have the things that you need in your life. Mindset also impacts risk tolerance. If you have a fixed mindset, you might be more risk averse and less likely to take chances with your money. So, a fixed mindset is a belief that your abilities and traits cannot be changed. They kind of are what they are, and you might kind of choose not to do things that you're not totally sure about because you don't feel like you're going to be able to understand how to do it. If you have a fixed mindset, you're going to tend to avoid challenges, which can include a challenge such as figuring out how to set up a retirement account or how to invest money. A fixed mindset can really kind of hold you back because you feel like you might not want to approach things that you're uncertain about. But a fixed mindset can be shifted more towards a growth mindset over time by stepping out of your comfort zone a little bit at a time, just kind of taking small movements forward and trying things and taking those little risks and learning about things that you're unsure of. That'll really help build your confidence, and you can see that you can not only learn but can become very good at things that you were not currently familiar with. So, of course, we all have different levels of risk tolerance, but you don't want to be so risk averse that you lose out on financial opportunities which can impact your future long term, such as things like setting up a retirement account or investing savings that you have for the future. Your mindset can really also impact your financial goals, because if you have a negative mindset, you might be less likely to set ambitious financial goals for yourself, or you might really go as far as never setting any goals at all. Because if you have a negative mindset, you may convince yourself that it's not worth setting goals because it will only lead to disappointment when you don't achieve them. But if you have a positive mindset, you might be more likely to set challenging goals and work hard to achieve them. Even if you fall short on those goals that you set for yourself, you're going to be much more likely to come out better off than setting no goals at all. So, kind of approaching your finances with that positive mindset right up front can really kind of help you set goals and know that while you may not hit them exactly, you're still going to be moving forward and making progress in your finances. And just general money management too is influenced by your mindset. As I mentioned before, a scarcity mindset can cause you to impulse spend to purchase things that you feel you need to have, but it can also cause you to save your money excessively. You may avoid investing your money because you want to have it easily accessible, because you might feel like there's just never going to be enough. But if you kind of can try to lean more towards an abundance mindset, like we talked about before, kind of practicing gratitude and recognizing all that you do have, you may be more likely to invest your money so that you can be better prepared for future goals because you won't feel that need to kind of have it right available at any moment because you feel like the resources are so scarce that you have to really kind of hold on to them. Also, having a fixed mindset might cause you to avoid budgeting if it's something that you have not done before or something that you have not succeeded at before. So that impacts your ability to manage your money, because if you're not budgeting or even if you don't follow like a strict kind of written budget, but you follow some type of financial plan that even if, some people like to kind of do it in their head, some people do all different types of budgeting, but just kind of having that process to manage your money. If you feel like you don't have the ability to do it, or it's not something, like I said, you've been successful at before, you can tend to avoid it, and you could wind up worse off than if you had a growth mindset where you understand that you might not be successful with budgeting at first, but after time, you'll learn and you'll figure things out and it'll get better as you go along. So definitely all aspects of money management are impacted by the way that you approach them. So maybe just kind of take some time to think about where you might struggle most with your mindset, and think about if there's anything that you might be able to improve about your mindset in the way that you're facing some financial situations when they arise. Now, of course, changing your mindset is not going to increase your earnings or change your financial situation immediately, but it can definitely have an impact long term. And it can definitely help open your mind to alternative solutions more easily, rather than just kind of either approaching things negatively or approaching them in a way that you try to avoid things that you're uncertain about. So, the next time you're approaching a financial challenge or decision that's involving money, take a moment to consider the mindset you are approaching the situation with, and see if maybe you could kind of change the way you're thinking a little bit to kind of help you get through the situation. So, that's it for today. I hope this was helpful to you and inspired you a little bit to kind of just make maybe some slight changes to better improve the way you might be approaching some financial situations. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you back here next week. So thank you for checking in for this podcast episode. And don't forget, you can always email me with any questions or suggestions at lolasfrugallife@gmail.com. You can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at lolasfrugallife. And you can find a blog post for most of my episodes and definitely all of my meal plan episodes at lolasfrugallife.com. You can also join our private listeners group at facebook.com/groups/lolasfrugallife. And if you enjoy the show, please make sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you listen from. And I would love it if you would screenshot the show and tag me on Instagram so I could see you're listening. Also, if you can please take a couple of seconds to rate and review the podcast. Those ratings and reviews are what help the show come up better in search results so that other people can find this podcast. So that will really help me in growing my audience. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have an awesome day.